Hello. In a previous talk, I spoke about the problems that people have when they're trying to lose weight, particularly after the first few weeks. If you remember, the reason for the problem was either loss of willpower or that the initial weight loss was down to excess water being expelled from the body. I'd like to extend this topic today by looking at other factors in the more medium term that hinder our ability to lose weight. By the medium term, I mean those weeks after the initial weight loss, when the going gets tough and the results are harder to achieve. So that would be like weeks 3 or 4 to 12 to 15 or so. Firstly, let's consider what happens to the body when someone starts a diet. Most diets generally mean taking on fewer calories. Unfortunately, when the weight is lost, the body generates more hormones which trigger hunger, so we feel hungrier more of the time. Unfortunately, again, the willpower to overcome this hunger is often weak, so the temptation to eat is too much to bear, and the craving for food is usually indulged. The person on the diet eats more, and usually things they should not eat. In addition to these cravings caused by hormones, people on diets often feel tired more easily because they are eating fewer calories, and calories equal energy. So they spend more time than they normally would doing sedentary activities like watching TV. Thus they burn off fewer calories. The third reason is about habits. Did you know that 40% of human behaviour is subconscious because it has been formed by habits? A simple example, having a biscuit after a meal, drinking a sugary drink with a meal, having a coffee and a piece of cake after going to the gym. Friday night is takeout night. People barely even think about these habits, which make them very hard to break and very easy to slip back into. I'll give you an example a little bit later of that. There are, of course, a never-ending array of lose-weight fast type diets, which mostly work in the short term, perhaps before a holiday or a wedding, when people like to look their best. Few of them work for many people in the long run, though. So let's think about what is actually required for long-term success. Perhaps the biggest mistake people can make is to have the goal of losing weight. A better goal, perhaps, is to lead a healthier lifestyle. This slightly different goal allows people to account for medical reasons why they find it hard to lose weight, such as diabetes and perhaps depression. The second mistake is to assume that more of the same is enough for success. Let me talk you through an example of this to explain. A few years ago, I acquired a dog. The dog needed walking, obviously, so I took him out in the morning and the evening, before and after work. It was only a small dog, so the walks were 20 minutes or so. But that was 40 minutes every day of additional physical activity for me. Within a couple of weeks, I noticed that my trousers were a little looser, and work colleagues noticed that I was slightly slimmer. Despite having to get up earlier to take the dog out, I also felt like I had a little more energy. The extra activity I did helped me to sleep better, so I was fresher in the mornings. However, the slight weight loss didn't continue. It tapered off, and I started to maintain the weight that I became. I didn't put the weight back on, but stopped losing any more. If I had wanted to continue to lose weight, I'd have needed to walk further and possibly faster. The same thing happened when I changed my job and started cycling to work. The initial results were pleasing. I lost weight, but after a couple of months that stopped. The next change for me was to well, almost but not totally stop, eating chocolate at work. I replaced it with fruit. So now every Monday I stop at the fruit market on the way to work and buy a load of fruit that I snack on at work instead of the two chocolate bars that I used to eat every day. Again, some weight loss occurred over a month or so, but when the habit of fruit rather than chocolate was formed and embedded, the weight loss stopped. It was only when I increased the amount of miles that I cycled that further weight loss happened. I know now that if I want to lose any more weight, I will need to either start jogging with the dog in the evening or attend an extra karate session in the week. My current regime, which is now a habit, can't really give me any more weight loss. So these are long-term healthy lifestyle choices. More exercise, less chocolate, more fruit. I feel better. The weight loss is secondary to wanting to be healthier in general. I mentioned something earlier about habit forming. Recently, a friend set me a challenge to do 22 press-ups every day for 22 days. I did the challenge and said to myself near the end, I'm actually enjoying this, I'll continue to do it. But the 22 days wasn't long enough to form a habit, so in the days after I had completed the challenge, I didn't actually carry on. Now, a week or so later, I think I will find it pretty hard to motivate myself to start doing these press-ups again. And the reason I find it difficult is because I didn't share my goal. You see, an interesting point here, goal sharing can help. If you share a goal, then it's more difficult to not do it. But if the goal is kept to yourself, if it's personal, nobody knows if you are or are not keeping to the goal because you haven't shared it. So if you decide to do something, even if it's just a small step to being healthier, maybe an evening walk around the block, not eating a cake after your evening meal, don't keep it to yourself. Tell people, because that can help you to maintain your motivation. So to conclude then, a diet might work in the short term, but probably not in the long term. Having the goal of being healthier might be better than the goal of weight loss. Thirdly, one change for a long time is only going to work for a short time. Something needs adding in terms of activity, or more fruit, or removing chocolate, for example, to continue the loss of weight. And finally, goal sharing is a powerful way to increase your motivation. So if you're trying to lose weight, good luck to you. I hope that's helpful. Thank you.